All righty. All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Mark, are you recovered from
I
Commit
am
Your Code?
I am not recovered. I'm actually down. I'm down bad, brother. I got at commit your code. I got committed to a cold. So now I am under the weather.
Bro, I struggled with it last week. I had
Yeah.
it last week. So who knows? Maybe I gave it to you. I don't know.
Mm-mm.
But say what?
But I shook a lot of hands.
You should. That's the problem, man. I mean, listen, when you go to these conferences, you're kind of just opening yourself up to the sickness. If we're just being honest. So, well, you look good. You don't sound super congested, but you look great. For those of you tuning in, welcome. No, I am on LinkedIn, Jason. I literally see it right now. Let me see. Hold on.
Make sure it's out there on the streets.
It says on LinkedIn. Let me see.
Oh, what's
I got
up?
no error messages.
Building?
Yeah, it's there. It's there, Jason. It's there. See, Jeff, good morning. Good morning.
Mhm.
Tehran, it's good to see you. All right, cool. Great to have met you both at Commit Your Code. Yeah, it was great. I'm sure we'll get into that here in a second. But welcome, everybody. Good morning. For those of you who went to Commit Your Code, hopefully you're recovering. We are so back. And I know a lot of people have been messaging me like, oh my God, I'm so excited that you got Mark on the show. So I'm excited that Mark's on the show. You know, I always tell people, I say, who I consider friends, I consider everybody friends, right? But I think like the people who like I really respect and call close friends, I actually don't think of to invite them on the show. And so Mark's been on the show. It's been a few years now. And like it was like raining. I was like, dude, I should probably get you back on the show to talk about it. So, and to be honest with you, dude, I didn't even see you book it. I was going to talk to you at Commit Your Code. And like for some reason it didn't come in, or maybe I just deleted it. And I was like, Mark, man, we need to get on. But then I saw that you were like my first guest after Commit Your Code. So like, oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So
Good
we're
timing.
here.
Good timing.
Some housekeeping things as always. First and foremost, shout out to the AppRight and AppRight team. I am an AppRight hero. Jason Torres, the AppRight hero. Go check them out. Love the DevRel crew out there. Tell them the Torque Boys sent you. Also, listen, we just got a brand new refresh on the Torque community page. It's nice and pretty. There's like colors and it looks nice. We got some testimonials. You can sign up to be an ambassador, sign up to be a mentor mentee. It looks pretty. Go check it out. Torque.community. It looks great. And listen, if you want to know when I go live, you know, one of the things, so we do ambassador calls once a month for the Torque community. One of the things we continue to hear from the ambassadors is that, hey, like you have a lot going on. It's hard to keep up. So we're trying to standardize some things. And one of the things, like if you want to know when I go live, shoot me a text. This is actually my number. It's not some AI bot. Just text me live. I'll loop you in. I just sent out, you know, some texts right before I went live with Mark to let y'all know we are here. So please join that. Also, too, we'd love to have you in Discord. We got a lot going on, as always. All right, we got a lot of people tuning in this morning, which I expected. Mark, let's get the people what they want, man. Who are you? What do you do? And we'll go from there.
Who am I?
Who am I?
Yeah, so let's
The
talk.
best voice in the game.
I am the best voice in the game.
Yeah.
So it's funny about the voice thing. I was trying to get somebody's attention, and I go, "Hey, you over there?" And this woman turns around. She goes, "Is that your voice?" I was like, "Yes, it is." I was like, "No, it's not." And she's like, "What? How do you do that?" I'm like, "Well, you know, I have control.
You know, I got control.
I got control of everything." But yeah, so my name is Mark. I am an engineer. I'm a dad. I'm a musician. Let's see. I'm creative. I love photography and videography. I love playing guitar, playing music. That's one of my like big passions. Let's see. And you know, I've been writing code and working on tech for over 20 years at this point. And I'm just really happy to be here. I work at Google right now, which has been the best experience I've had in my career so far. I've learned a ton. I'll tell you, get into a job that stretches you because you will be surprised at how much you can learn if you allow yourself to grow in a job that stretches you. And I think Google has been that for me over the last almost not 5.5, but like 5
That's
years.
crazy. That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. So lot to talk about today. You know, some folks, I'm like, I kind of do some digging and whatnot. Like I know Mark and I think one of the things I want to talk about today, and again, if you have questions, please ask them. But Mark, I kind of want to go into your AI talk that you gave at Commit Your Code. This, we were chatting backstage briefly, same kind of similar talk that you gave at Epic WebConf that I emceed. So I just want, like, let's start with this, man. Like what's your talk titled, and give me kind of the thesis of the talk to set the stage about what we're going to talk about.
Sure. So I have 2 talks that I've been giving recently. One a keynote length, and then one's a little shorter length. Both of them about, the series or the idea is like AI for the people. And what I mean, the engineers out here, in the engineering community, because I feel like right now there's so much like fear, uncertainty, and doubt around like careers and development, around how to use AI. Code generation has taken on like a mind of its own. And a lot of people are just like, is it even worth it to still be an engineer these days? Is it even worth it? Did I just spend the last, 8 months grinding after my full-time job, grinding at night on 100 devs, or grinding at night, doing a free code camp for nothing? Did I take this boot camp for nothing? Am I studying for nothing? Right. And so this AI for the people, AI for everyone else, this idea is that these talks are to dispel some of the fear the best that I can with, my educated guess about what's going to happen next, and then giving people a practical roadmap as to what I would do. And this is the way I'm framing it. It's what I would do if I were starting today, or if I were
which I love these conversations. Like, because I think like, so I was golfing the day before Commit Your Code with my buddy who's a CTO in Dallas. It's starting to become a tradition, me going down and golfing with some tech folks. And we actually filmed it. It's like a podcast style while we're golfing. It's gonna be great. Can't wait to release it. But I asked him, I was like, what do devs do now? And I think this is great, kind of dovetail into this conversation. So Mark, let's talk about it. I mean, what would you do? What is junior dev, is it even a thing anymore? Like what do people learn? Like, is AI the biggest boogie scary, man, as we're making it out to be?
I think it's one of the biggest advancements in technology that I've seen in my lifetime, and that most of us have seen in our lifetime. I think what it's capable of at the current state, we don't know the future state. We don't know when we're going to max out, when compute will just not give us anything else. We don't know that yet. But in terms of what it can do now, I like to frame it not about like, is it scary, so much about what can I do that I couldn't do before?
Yeah.
Right? Like, what tools do you have available to you now to build the things that you could never have built to serve the customers that you couldn't reach? So when you start to reframe it around that, it's like, oh, wait, there's more. Because I think, and I said this in this talk on Friday, we have to get over ourselves. Meaning engineers have to get over ourselves, because for the last, 40, 50 years of engineering, our greatest value has been how much code we can type on the keyboard.
Correct.
That is no longer going to be your greatest value add. Right? Your technical skills will still be valuable, so don't get that conflated. Your technical skills will still be valuable, but how fast you can type code will not be as valuable as it was before, because now we just have tools. It's so, this is a flawed example, but it's a kind of fair analogy. For a long time, we were using a screwdriver, to like screw in, like screw.
Yeah, I'm not a big tool guy. My wife does all the tool stuff in our household. I do the laundry, but keep going. Yeah, I do know what a screwdriver is, so that's good.
Good. I'm glad you know that. Then we got power drills. You know what I mean? But like, here's the thing: to know when you use which is still valuable. Still, we get more and more like special tooling all the time. But to know what to do, when to do it is the value add, right? Like when it comes to like carpentry and all these kind of things, because I can cut with a handsaw or I can cut with a blade. You know what I'm saying? With a not a chainsaw. I can't think of the name of this. The circular saw. I can cut with a circular saw or a handsaw. But the idea that I know when to use what is like the magic, and I know what's right and what's wrong. You as a developer, friends who are watching, you knowing what's right and what's wrong is everything. It's everything, because the solutions that maybe generated code may produce may not be accurate. Yeah. And we know as the industry that there is a bit of hallucination in code generation. In any LLM output, there's the probability that creates some hallucinations. But you knowing what's right and what's wrong is still valuable. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I tell people.
I love it. So what do people do, right? Like, I don't know. Again, there's nothing wrong with some hot takes this morning. Like, our boot camp's gonna still be a thing. Like as somebody who's a non-developer,
yeah,
I feel like I can go learn everything. I can just type in, hey, I am a junior dev wanting to transition to the tech industry. I need a curriculum to help scale up my back end skills. Enter, and ChatGPT is going to write something up. Is like where is that aspect of things right now?
Oh, good question. So should you just use like models to, curate all your education? Here's the funny thing. You've already been able to do that long before ChatGPT. Humans have written up game plans. Like you could search. So back in the heydays of tech Twitter, before it got, weird and then all fractured now, people posted every week, here's my game plan for learning how to be a junior engineer or breaking into tech. They posted every week these long threads. So you always had that ability. It has always been whether or not you want to follow through.
Sure.
It's always been that, and that has not changed. Even with the advent, we just have easier access to information, but our ability as humans to follow through, that has not changed, right? Like that is still we can click, just like when I look at vibe coding tools. Like you as a non-developer, Taylor, like you can go and say, I want to create the torque.dev platform, and here are things that I want. You can still do that, but that doesn't mean that that's going to replace torque.dev. Like somebody can try to copy you, but there is more to the story than just the code and stuff. And it always has been that way.
Yeah,
always has been that way. It's more to the story than the code itself. There's the marketing, there's the product fit, and all of these levels, like product fit, marketing, customer retention, quality of service, and all of those things, you still needed people to know what was the right thing, because who would have known? Who would have predicted like that a black shirt and white pants looked really good together on stage, for example?
Yeah.
Right. That's just like human nature, the creativity of humans, to know what other humans will like.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like that,
yeah.
Pointing towards like we're still the magic, regardless of how many of our things get automated.
Yep, absolutely. So Tehran comes in. So now it's about understanding system design and architecture.
I love this, Ron. Shout out to Ron. Ron has been fantastic. Think about it like this. The fundamentals cannot go away. You still, so again, if you're going to be an engineer, right? If you're going to be an engineer, fundamentals can't go away, because again, what has in the chat, just for fun, in the chat, have you been trying to generate code with any of the models and then it couldn't fix something or do something, and you prompted yourself into a corner where it still wouldn't work? I know this happened to me where I'm like, I'll do it myself. You know what I mean? Put my gloves on, like, I'll do it myself. Because that is still a possibility, and me knowing what to do is still valuable. So it's yes and, Ron, like in this case, yes and. System architecture design and the fundamentals matter. But system design is everything, because now think about this value add. You're a junior developer, you get a ticket, you thinking of and understanding about what the architecture should look like increases your effectiveness with the tools you have available to you.
Okay, so my question is, so I feel like there's a push-pull here, right? Because it's like, all right, you say fundamentals aren't gone. I want to touch on fundamentals here in a second.
Sure.
But the things you're talking about from a non-technical guy like myself seems to be more mid-senior level stuff. So how can juniors, and not even juniors, this question, not even junior, how can mids, how can seniors get the understanding of system design and architecture if that's the differentiator?
Okay, so you talked about hot takes, right?
Yeah. Hey, we need full of them this morning. I love it.
This is a hot take.
I love it.
You used to do as a junior, you gotta. The bar has been raised.
Bar has been raised.
That's just it. Think about it across all industries where AI has had an impact. Generative AI. Let's be super clear. Let's be super specific with our language. Where generative AI has an impact, the bar is just raised, because the things that we used to do and take for granted, like, oh, I need to make this spreadsheet of all these numbers. All those things can be done now.
Yeah.
I could select a spreadsheet. I could select a CSV file full of numbers and say, convert this into a spreadsheet, make, the last column, this, that, and the other. So like, that's not the value add anymore. Knowing which columns you need is the value add. You see, so even with this, as a junior, your ability to just like type code on the screen, center divs, that's not interesting anymore. Knowing that a div needs to be centered is more interesting now. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So let's get practical here. Let's say, one of my questions at the end of the show is like, what would, if you went back in time and told young Mark something? So let's edit that a little bit. If young Mark was coming out of college or boot camp or just trying to career transition, how would you structure your learnings, your search differently in today's world?
Oh, totally. One, I will position myself as an AI enabled or empowered engineer. That's how. First is positioning. 100%.
Like positioning, like what you put on LinkedIn or what you post about or all that stuff.
When I talk to people about myself,
like
let's say you're interviewing me, I would say, hey, I'm Mark, I'm fresh out of college. Listen, I've learned all of my fundamentals, data structures, algorithms, and I've been focusing on design, architecture, and I've been learning how to use all the tools available to me, like these AI tools. I've been learning how to use those to get better and more effective output. So I spent time using things like Gemini CLI to check my work, for example. You see what I'm saying? So I will start telling a story about how I'm using AI with my work, not to replace my work, because I want to let people know what it can do for me, not what it can do instead of me or in my place.
Okay.
And so that's a different positioning, because if you think about it, coming to say, well, like, oh, I know how to write for loops, I know how to write functions, just don't do models. Models know how to do that already. But I know how to leverage those models and how to leverage those tools. Let's say that you are a person who uses like the Gemini Code Assist plugin in your VS Code, right? I say get comfortable with that. Get comfortable with the right workflow, though. Don't get comfortable with like only prompting your entire solution. Get comfortable with like I think the future word is like a multi-level use of the tool. Sometimes I will use a tool to create an entire project. Sometimes I'll have it consult on my design. Sometimes I'll have it consult on code that I've written. Like, what did I miss? Like when I use AI at work, for example, very often. So I write video scripts all the time. I am much faster and much better than most models. Not because I'm like saying I'm like this genius. I just have done it so much and I know how to do it, where it's like by the time the model gets one that doesn't sound generic, I've already written it. Mm-hmm. But what I will say is, okay, Gemini, what did I miss? What would someone who heard this video, what questions would they have?
Ooh. Okay.
You see, different way to use it.
Okay. So you're coming out of school, boot camp, career transition. You frame yourself as more of an AI empowered engineer.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean, are we just getting on Cursor and getting to know Cursor really well, or Claude, or like, what about the fundamentals? Are you still learning data structures and algorithms? Or like how do you marry the fundamentals, the blocking and tackling, with still trying to know how to use AI?
Yeah. I think you still have to write some code. I think you do. I think you also have to review the code that is written, which is why
or the AI.
I think you do.
That's what I was trying to get at right there.
Yeah, I think you have to still review the code that was written. For example, the demo that I gave, right? I was like, okay, transparency. Prepping for this talk, I started noticing that a lot of people, when I got to the event, were touching on the same things. And I was like, damn, I got to take this up a notch somehow. So I was like, oh, I'm going to add a panel to the UI of the demo that I'm going to show. But I didn't want to sit there and design it all. So I started asking Gemini CLI to make it, right? I'm like, okay, update this screen on this page with this work. So very clear, direct instructions, right? Communicating very clearly.
Yep.
But then there was a bug, and I was like, this is not working. I asked it to fix it, and it's like, oh, I fixed it. No, it didn't. I had to review the code myself. And I was like, oh, totally skipped this one part. Skipped this one part. And then I asked it to do the thing, and it didn't quite do it right, because maybe it just didn't have enough context, or maybe I was prompting it poorly. But then I just did the thing that needed to be done myself, and it fixed my demo. You see what I'm saying? But I know what to do, because again, like you said, the blocking, the tackling, those fundamentals. I think that maybe in 10 years, you don't need to know fundamentals, right? Maybe in 10 years, the kids coming out of college, that's like assembly language to them. You know what I mean? And they're only at like prompting and driven development in 10 years. I'm saying right now, people watching this looking to get a job. I'm saying your fundamentals still matter, because guess what? One, not every company will allow you to use an LLM to work. That's number one.
Yeah.
Right. And then two, what happens when the LLM is unavailable? What happens when you max out your tokens for the day? That happens.
Can't be maxing out tokens. I'm just kidding. No, I mean, but I think it's so okay. All right. So let me ask you this then. What if somebody is, because I know there's a lot of people in the torque community and there's a lot of people just that I know that are in a position right now, they're not using AI. And let me hold on and let me just set this out too. I'm so excited that I have you on this talk because I can kind of work through some things myself. This is partly a counseling session for me, for being honest. When we say AI engineer, for the most part, we're talking about prompt engineering, right? Or generative AI.
Yeah, good.
Because one thing we're not talking. By the way, I was recruiting data scientists, ML, computer vision people back at Vaco 6 years ago. I remember I had a project to go find a computer vision person. That still technically is AI.
Yes.
But we're just talking about right now, you just getting good at Claude? Is that essentially all it is?
I think that is one of the part of it. But I also think, so the AI engineer term, that for me is super loaded and super conflated. That's why I said an AI.
To me, I'm like that. No, you're not an AI engineer. You just know how to like ask questions well.
Right, which is super valuable. That was one of my roadmap points for the community. Learn how to communicate. Learn how to communicate to get what you want out of like your model of choice, right? Like learn how to communicate to get what you want out of the tool of choice. Now, AI is so broad and so big. And one of the points that I made, Taylor, in the talk was it is confounding to me that like, I don't know if that's the right word, but it is just like, it blows my mind that all we do with generative AI right now is generate code.
Yeah.
Like that's wild to me. And that we think the whole of AI as a broader community is the code that we generate. Like nobody's, like why aren't, if I was one of our friends watching who's looking for something, I would be learning how to use the Gemini API in my app, in the app to do something novel, to do something interesting. For example, I know some people are like, so computer vision, for example, that is a part of AI.
Sure.
Where is your computer vision app? That's interesting. Taylor, you cannot tell me that if somebody that you were in the torque community came to you and showed you a computer vision app that they made, that you would be like, wow, this is impressive. Let's get this person in front of some people because they're thinking in a different way.
So I've been on that vein lately. So I kind of get on like different themes and trends in my talks. So I interviewed Sunil at Cloudflare. And I was like, if Sunil was like, I want you to come into an interview, like, hey, I don't like, he goes, that's how I got a job at Cloudflare. He was like, I went to them and said, I don't like how you're doing this. Here's how I would do it. And he goes, I got the interview. In our conversation together on Guidance Counselor 2.0, I go, if somebody built some sort of AI tool leveraging Cloudflare and part of your business, and again, I don't know the business, but I was like, if they did that, would you look at them and get them an interview? He goes, absolutely.
Yes, 100%.
So could you, so this just popped in my brain. Could you say that AI could help you become a more effective interviewer because it would allow you to spin up a lot of use cases that you could present to clients throughout your interview that you probably would not have been able to have time to hard code every single one?
Yes. 100%, especially if you are using AI as a feature and not just to generate the code.
Correct.
It's a yes and that's the part that I can't. I'm really trying to like preach to the mountaintop about this yes and thing. So the demo that I showed was like, okay, so you got a chatbot. I hate chatbots, but I was just showing like the reason people hate chatbots because they don't have any power, right? Like that's why, because you talk to a chatbot just to get to a human. But I made a chatbot that could like get items from the cart based on like human description, like I want to make a smoothie. And then they was arguing with me. And I was like, fine, a fruit smoothie. Then they found all the fruit and then added only the fruit to the cart. That I don't want to write the code to do that. Having a model be a part of my app that can do that is very interesting. You see what I'm saying? And then again, like make but then the example I'm waiting for somebody to show me is like, okay, you care about these types of things, right? Clothes and style and fashion. If I'm like, man, I got these shoes, but I can't match it to anything. Like, show me a e-commerce app where I upload my shoes and it gives me all the pieces that match my shoes.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's AI powered. So, like, think about AI powered applications. That's really interesting right now. AI powered applications, and you can use AI to generate the AI powered application, but be thinking bigger. That's what I get people in mind. Think bigger, because we have the tools to do things that we never could do. Why aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, again, I mean, we're not hiring right now, but like, if you're an engineer, I know there's, I mean, we're an AI platform, right? On the back end. It's not really necessarily for job seekers, more for like the recruiter side of things. But like, if you're a developer and you want to come work for us, do something AI related, I'll get you in touch with our head of engineering, Lane. I'm sure that'll stand out, because again, for me, it's like the thought of having to program stuff hard coded before AI for interviews, trying to find a job, networking, like it would have been too much. Right now, like I used something called, was it Base 44 or whatever, some AI prompt thing to create a website. Sure. To me, I literally, I'm the most non-developer there probably is in this type of opportunity, in this type of ecosystem I'm in. But I was able to make a portfolio site, like make a website for me. And for me, it's like, oh my gosh, like that's when it really clicked. I was like, now developers could actually move faster, because everything I think about is interview and job search. Now somebody can go in, work on a project, implementing some sort of AI tool or AI feature. And I like that empowers a product way faster now than ever before to make you stand out.
Yes, 100%. Look, people who have your portfolio projects, I'm gonna give some unsolicited advice, but I'm gonna tell you what I would do today. Like, when you have, because I reviewed some portfolios, and when I see people's work, I usually feel like, why didn't you just copy the design of an app that does what your app does, that looks better than yours? Like, and then add some AI features to it. Like, that is like, I feel like that's a home run right now. I don't have any data to prove that I'm right about this, but like, for example, let's say that you're going to make an e-commerce store or whatever, or a pet shop. That's a very common demo, right? Like, why don't you have your pet shop look like PetSmart with your own branding? Don't steal their branding, but like,
right. Or Chewy, yeah,
or
and
Chewy,
like have like
right? Why not implement Chewy? And then in your interview, you talk about how you took design and functionality cues from Chewy, and then you reverse engineer. Look at that story. Look at that story. I reverse engineered the things that I saw in Chewy, and then I made it in mine. And then you have the polish of a Chewy.com, right? And now you have even more talking points in your interview.
Yep.
And then take it to the next level and say, then I thought, I wish Chewy had this. Here's an AI feature that I added in. Man,
and I bet another prime example. My boy Jeff Blankenberg, who helped runs Stir Trek in Columbus, just had him on. If you did not catch that episode, he's a big, I think he said baseball card guy. Like he's like big on baseball cards. When he was on his last job search, he said in the trading card world, he goes, there's not a really good system for inventory, what you have, what's out there. So he created something. He then started to connect with people at Topps, the company, and they all were like, this is great, but we don't, I mean, he didn't get the job at Topps, but he got the attention from the C-suite at Topps because he had built something, which again, he said he would have not been able to do if it hadn't been for AI.
Right.
There's some questions that I haven't even been paying attention to the comment section because it's been.
I've been looking off camera to like look at the comments just to.
Let's do this. I'll work backwards here.
Yeah.
Do people need portfolios now, Mark?
You do, because here's the other thing that I think, here's a hot take, and you gotta like know what's what. The world. Okay, there are a few very vocal people who make it sound like AI has already taken over the world. That's not true. There are still companies that don't even use AI So you still got to show that you can do regular work. Like think about it. Like, sure, there's some companies who are like, okay, so if you were at this place, Commit Your Code this week, the CTO of Young Brands even talked about how long their trial was with AI tooling and where they ended up landing, right? And that's a big multinational organization. You know what I mean? And his story wasn't like, oh, we reduced our engineering staff to 0 because we do AI. He's like, no, we're still trying to figure out what are the right tools. So yeah, you do need a portfolio, or at least an example project that I can see how you work. Again, think about how you can stand out. There are a lot of you out there, not you, Jason, but there are a lot of you out there looking for a developer job. And I'm not trying to act, all like callous and like I don't understand it. It's hard. I'm just telling you, you got to stand out.
You got to stand out.
And also, too, goes far.
We do portfolio reviews in the Torque Discord with our resume LinkedIn review. It's kind of just a general review session we do every other week. Some of y'all need better portfolios. I'm just gonna be honest. It's like it's busy. I can't tell. Like Jason and I reviewed one last time, and it was like everything on here could be on your LinkedIn. Give me your projects. I need to hit it, and I need to know what projects I'm looking at immediately. So use AI for that. I don't know, just a thought.
I mean, look, here's what I would do. I would feed my portfolio to an AI and say, what are the opportunities to improve this? So that
I love that. Yes. From
recruiters. 100%.
Yeah. Another question. I mean, I'm getting all the questions. So if you have questions, ask. Here we go. David. So AI is your co-pilot, not your rival or competitor. All right. I'm going to say this, Mark, while you think. I'm going to say this. AI has a marketing problem. Let me explain this. Everybody wants to put blame on something. We as humans want to blame something in general, right? It's just it's who we are. We are broken, fallen people. We it's hard to take responsibility for our actions. I'm working on that in my marriage. And when it comes to AI, people are equating AI with taking jobs because it's hard to find a job. AI is not making it hard to find a job. The overhiring that occurred for 2 years from 2021 to 2022 is the reason why you still can't find a job, because hundreds of thousands of engineers were all hired within 1 to 2 years, and companies are paying the price still. To be honest with you, we probably won't see that fully fleshed out for another few years. So stop blaming AI.
Yeah. That's not wrong. That's not wrong. I do think that even during the pandemic, it was like, I was shocked because I thought the hiring slope was going to go the opposite way. Right. And then when we were like booming and hiring all over the industry, I'm like, wait, what? This doesn't. It's almost like The Big Short. Remember when the guy was like, wait,
it was exactly like The Big Short. It was exactly like The Big Short.
Like nobody sees this. I'm like, wait, nobody sees that we're like hiring a lot and it's supposed to go the opposite way. But is AI your co-pilot or not your rival or competitor? Okay, David, let me tell you something that I honestly believe. There are some people who see it as a competitor or rival. I feel like as long as we, as the engineering community that exists now, do not shape the narrative ourselves, then the people who are pushing that false narrative will win. Like, the reason I'm talking about AI so much, and I'm not just like, oh, look at all the flaws of AI, is because I can't have a voice in this fight if I'm not in it. So I need to use the tools. I need to understand the tools so that way I can make compelling arguments to help protect this industry. I mean, like, I know that sounds like a grandiose idea, but I'm just saying, like, I can have conversations like this because I have it. Let me show you something. Hold on. Let me just show you how I'm really. Let me just show you something real quick. So, like, this is how I'm thinking. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to understand. This is a book that I'm reading, Generative AI System Design Interview, right? Not because I'm looking for another job, but because I want to know what the people are thinking about and how to be in front of the curve. Now, this isn't an advertisement for the book. This is just more validation of, like, you are not alone in this. We're all trying to figure out.
Everybody's in this shit together.
Yes, we're in it together. 100%.
Everybody.
I'm yelling, so if I'm too loud.
No, I love it, dude. I love it. I know I got you going because your voice went from like here to here during the interview, which is what that's my goal. I want to say this. I'm blessed to give one of the keynotes at All Things Open here in 2 weeks. And my talk is kind of around this thesis, which is, to be totally honest with you, I'm kind of poking Mark to see if my talk is correct, which I've already done. I know it is. Todd would not have invited me to speak if he didn't think so. But One of the things for me is I had described where we're at right now when React came out. I think one of the most divisive things. So I've been recruiting the web since 2011.
Yeah.
I think people forget that. While I have not been coding, I've been recruiting the web since .NET web forms and VB.NET.
Yeah.
Right. When C# came out, all companies want C#. People were still on VB.NET. Golly, when .NET MVC came out, I mean, companies were like, we want MVC. Obviously, Nashville's a heavy Microsoft area, right?
Sure.
But so where we're at now, in my mind, is when React came out. There were people who jumped on it, started to become React like thought leaders, right? Then there was a lot of developers who stuck their head in the sand. I'm not learning React. React is a fad. I'm not doing this. And they have struggled to find a job year after year after year. Where we're at right now is we're early, but you can't stick the head in the sand.
That's right.
You can't stick the head in the sand.
That's right. Because you know what? I'm going to tell you this. And this is another hot take. And flame me on the internet if you have to. Like, I get it. But understand the full context. When people say, "Oh, this is just AI slop," everything's AI slop, that is a salve to that they cover themselves for the fear. They're just covering up their fear.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid of what it can do. Now, am I saying that AI slop doesn't exist? No, not at all. But I'm saying that to choose to take a transformational technology and reduce it to its flaws is naive.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. I'm just kind of going through here. Do you think AI is overhyped on tech Twitter than how it actually is in real life?
Yes, it is overhyped. I think that, like I said, there are lots of people who are very loud right now. Now, when I say overhyped, I just mean the doom and gloom story. You see what I'm saying? The doom and gloom story of like developers being replaced by AI like agents. Like that doom and gloom story, I think, is overhyped. But I think like Taylor just said, Nazanin, we are early, but this is the time to get your footing in place to position yourself for success. Like learn the tools, learn how this stuff works.
So the other two parts of my talk, and Mark, you're going to validate my talk real time. You can correct me if I'm wrong, and I'll go back and change the notes. One of the things too is like you said, starting to position yourself as an AI individual. Prime example: Kent C. Dodds, Angie Jones. Angie Jones, Java Queen.
Yep.
Guess what that girl's been talking about for the last year? Goose. Yep. Swear. If I had a nickel for every time I saw Goose on one of my timelines, and she's doing her job, right? Kent C. Dodds. You think of Kent C. Dodds like the React guy, right? Nope. What's he talking about now? MCPs like crazy, right?
Yeah. You know what's even more wild about Kent? Me and Kent were in Greece together. I had keynoted an event in Greece, and I was with him when he was telling me in real time, like, "Oh yeah, I'm about to do this MCP pivot, and I'm about to do this AI pivot." And he was telling about the domain name he was getting, and this was in April, and he's pivoted hard on this, which is the right thing to do because he's like, "I'm going to get in on this," because he sees the potential. Yeah. He sees the potential. So, am I saying that everything has to be an AI app? No. That's not true, right? Not everything has to be an AI app, but you should know how to use the tool. Just like how front-end engineering went from just JavaScript to, like you said, React, Angular, Vue, Svelte, like all these tools emerged and changed the industry. And what I'm saying is that the industry is changed. It has changed and it is changing. But is it overhyped about the like fear about like, oh, it's all going away? Not overhyped. But here's another hot take that I feel like every time I say this, I'm getting closer to getting in trouble. Nobody who has anything to lose is saying that we're replacing engineers.
Say that one more time.
Nobody who has anything to lose is saying that we're replacing engineers with AI. So meaning,
what do you mean by that?
Yeah, it's only the people all the way at the top.
That kind of hurt my brain a little bit. That's a lot of like double negatives.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, it's only people who have nothing to lose who are talking about, oh, we're getting rid of developers. They have nothing to lose. They're already rich. They're already in roles that don't require.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they have nothing to lose. So of course they can bang that drum. But like I said on stage, I said this changed my life. You know, it literally changed my lineage. It changed my son's life.
Yeah.
You know, I fought hard to be here. You know, I worked hard over the last 20 years to get to where I am. I'm not going down without a fight. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna always be advocating for humans to do work. But I'm trying to tell you how to get involved because just talking about it ain't enough.
Yeah.
Ain't enough. Get involved and show the value that you have. Because in my mind, the best companies in the future, this is my prediction. The best companies in the future will be the ones that have figured out the right balance of empowering their engineering talent with AI and training up those people the right way with AI. You see what I'm saying? Like train them to use the right tools and empowering them. I feel like that's what we're going to see.
Absolutely. Absolutely. See here. Trying to go through here. So many comments. Y'all are great. Someone bring up the Ross from Friends pivot meme. I love that. I love Mark's takes. Mark told me my 100-hour project needed to be way more enterprise, so I made it more enterprise. It looks way better. Look at that. There you go.
I did tell her that because bro, can I just talk about this project? I remember exactly what she's talking about.
Yeah, go ahead.
She made a project to serve a very specific community, and anybody in that community who has seen her project is like, this is a godsend. And I'm like, Roxy, you can pivot this even further for yourself by improving the quality of the UI and the quality of the interactions. Because right now it looks a little bit like a hobby project, but make it look more enterprise, more polished, more professional. Because then when you show this to people, the story writes itself for that project. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because when she interviews with that project, nobody has likely had to face this problem that her project solves. Yeah. So then that's just the conversation by itself, showing her resilience. Come on, bro. She can talk about her resilience and the fact that she's living through this, building. Man, the story writes itself. So I'm like, make it look really good, so that way you can get, even when you get in the room.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you got it.
Well, and this dovetails to another part of my talk, which, thank you, Mark. Find a mentor if you are serious about this.
Yeah.
Just like Mark mentored in the moment Roxy to make it go more enterprise, right now, more than ever. And this is for us, you know, we are opening up our mentor mentee program. We're about cohort 1 is going to be done at the end of the year. We're going to retool, have some ideas, but like, and I'm actually mentoring 2 college kids at the University of South Carolina right now. And there's a lot that comes involved with mentor mentee. I think the mentees have to drive the relationship. South Carolina isn't doing that correctly. I'm driving it. I ain't got time to drive it. That's neither conversation for here nor there. But find a mentor during this time if you are serious.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because I will tell you this, if you message a so-and-so or an Angie Jones, a Mark Thompson, Mark's probably super busy. But if you're like, hey, Mark, I want 15 minutes.
Yep.
I will set the date. I will set the time. I will set the conversations. I want to start to begin to pick your brain on what I'm doing with AI. And if you come in 15 minutes, succinct, here are the things that I'm trying to do. What are your thoughts here? I would imagine Mark will probably take the call more times than less if he's not super busy. And you will get more information out of the 15 minutes with Mark than you will get surfing the internet. But you got to find a mentor right now.
I'm not going to.
You are serious.
I tell you that now. Just the same way you saying, Taylor, like, I'm not going to look for you. So like, if you are like, you know, for the people that mentor, like, I'm like, look, I'll give you my calendar link. You book the time, but I'm not going to look for you.
Yeah.
I'm just too
busy.
I got time. I don't have time.
For me,
I don't have time to look for you. I'll make time for you. You put
exactly.
Look, I help people who help themselves all the time.
Amen.
If you put yourself in a position to increase, man, who said that? Was that Aaron Francis talking about like increasing your luck surface?
Yeah, so probably. Anything that's good is from Aaron. Let's just be honest.
If you increase your luck surface, then people are more likely to do things for you. So like literally, if I'm like, okay, here's my calendar link, book a time, come prepared, then yeah, we can talk. We can totally talk. You know?
Absolutely.
Get a mentor. That's right. That point confirmed as well, sir.
Yep. Wait a minute. Tehran had a good question. Where'd he go? Chat, I can't even keep up. What advice would you have for dev who's in the middle of a MERN stack training program, finishing the program first or start implementing AI now? Probably both based off our conversation.
Yes, and.
Yeah, yes, and. Everybody thinks or, not and.
Right.
The great Gary Vee said that. Everybody thinks or. I can only do this or this.
Yeah.
You can do both.
Yeah.
But you may need to stop watching your favorite Netflix TV show. Or you may need to stop aimlessly scrolling on TikTok until your eyes bleed at night like me.
Can I tell a quick story?
I would love for you to tell a quick story, Marcus.
About a yes and. Okay. First and foremost, studying to work at Google was one of the biggest, the most daunting challenges I ever had. The Google is notorious. All the manga/fame companies have notorious interview process. Most people don't get past the phone screen. I had to study for 2 hours a night. Intentional study, not study with my phone in one hand scrolling and then playing. Like,
put the phone away.
Phone away, phone do not disturb. But here's the kicker. I had a small child and I share responsibilities with my partner, with my wife, on raising our kids. So I'm putting my son to sleep and I got the coding and algorithms book in the other hand, 2 hours a night. Now, this is not an exaggeration. This is a true story, but it cost me. You hear what I'm trying to tell you? It cost me to do the prep for the interview. Yep. It cost me. Just like Taylor was telling you, like, you do have to give up something. I just spoke to a room of college kids at my alma mater a few weeks ago. I went in person.
Where'd you graduate?
I actually graduated from Lake Forest College for undergrad. Nice. Lake Forest in Illinois. And so I went over, got over there, talked to all these people. And I told them, one guy asked me, he said, "Hey, Mark, should I work on my hobby project or should I work on my schoolwork? I'm graduating next year." I said, "Yes, and." I said, "But you also going to have to skip a couple of parties. You got to skip them all. You got to skip some of them." I said, "You got to put your phone away." I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not telling you to become a robot. I am telling you for a small amount of time. Listen, none of you, this is a hot take, but I'm going to be honest with you. I am not telling you to grind your life away, but none of your favorite tech personalities got to where they got without some sacrifice. I'm just going to be real with you. I'm not telling you got to work 80 hours for the rest of your life, but there has to be a time that you are willing to sacrifice some temporary pleasure and satisfaction for the goal that you want. You just got to be willing to do it. And I know that it's not popular. I know work-life balance is what they all scream from the top, but there is no work-life balance when you're struggling. You got to get out the struggle first.
I will say this, whatever you believe in, totally good. I do fasting for church, right? And one of the things I do is I take away my phone. And as somebody who is on my phone, I recently did a fast. It was for an entire week. I bricked up my phone. The phone is the reason why we don't do things. And I will say that too right here because Naz said it too. The reason why you are not getting things done is because you are on your phone. And listen, this is coming from a guy who is glued to his phone, right? Exactly. So like this is the pot calling the kettle black right here, right? Like I get it, right? So for me, like one of the things that I did is I bought the brick. I know Aaron Francis talked about it, and if you want a discount code, I have a discount code. But like, again, like for me, yeah, it is crazy how much you reach for your phone.
Yeah. That's why I showed my brick. I'm like, that's what I keep on my desk. Yeah. I keep a brick at my desk for that reason, because I am like everybody else. This little device is like, it's all consuming. So again, and listen, friends, I'm not trying to say that I don't have any compassion for you, because you might be working.
No, I mean, I would say if you know Mark and know me, the utmost compassion.
Yeah, like you might have a demanding job that you don't have a lot of time, and I get it. I do get that. Like I totally get that you might have a family life that takes a lot out of you, but I'm also saying that something has to give. Yeah, something has to give, and you get to decide what that is. Yeah, right. You get to decide the whole time. I always tell my son, you are in control of what happens next, especially when I'm disciplining. I'm like, hey, listen, buddy, like I'm not yelling at you, but I'm telling you what you do next will decide what happens, and you are in control of that. Yep. So decide what you're going to do. Now, again, I don't believe in grind culture, because even I take breaks.
Okay. Yeah. I don't like that. Well, all that's tied to that.
Right. But Taylor, I think you would agree that like sometimes you just have to pay the price for what you want.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And I will say this. And Mark, I know you're a fan of this. The more we get into the sea of AI, everything we are doing, the more it is to show up to conferences like Commit Your Code. Because I will tell you this: if you don't get out or don't go to a meetup or don't go to a conference, it is like the amount of people you meet at these things, not even trying, is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, I truly believe that, and I say this all the time, your network is your net worth, which is one of the things I'm so passionate about Torque, which we're basically just trying to like, why do you think I go live with guys and gals like Mark? I don't do it for me. I mean, selfishly, I like hanging out with Mark, and our lives so busy. If I can get him on an hour stream, that's great. But I do this for you to get tapped into our network. That's why Jason does Tech Commute. Right. So you can say, hey, I saw Jason just went live with April, Microsoft, right? Like, you can just message April and be like, yo, April, I saw you on Tech Commute with Jason. That's why we do this, because we understand that you can't get through your career or life alone.
That's right. That's right.
We're preaching today.
Bro, I mean, I can tell you another part of my Google story. I don't think I was even on their radar, but let me tell you the power of network and the power of like working intentionally, right, in public. True story. I was building a fitness app as my like startup. I was investing my own money in it, and I was working in public. I was tweeting about Google work, using Flutter, using Firebase, and I'm like tweeting about the whole time. Flutter teams taking notice, all this kind of stuff. I go to Google I/O one year. I get invited to Google I/O because of my public like kind of work. Nobody's paying me. I'm not a Google GDE. I'm doing it because I know the power of connection. I'm being for real. I get invited to Google I/O this one year, and then I meet some of the engineers there. And one of the guys says, Mark, I've seen you out here. I know what you're doing. If you apply, I think you can get in. I really think you can get in. And I'm like, don't play in my face, bro. I know how hard it is, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that gave me the confidence to believe that I could do it. Then here's what was really wild. A friend of mine had gotten a call from a recruiter from Google, and then they were like, hey, we want you to interview for the Flutter team. And he said, I'm not the guy, but I have a friend who is. You see that? That's how I got into the interview process. Now, the rest of it was on me to go and do all the work to get ready for it. But look at that network, because I had been a good community member, a good friend to other people, adding value. Somebody thought of me. I was top of mind for other people. Mark can do this. Mark is the right person.
If that doesn't sound familiar, folks, and you haven't been following along. Right. I mean, again, that's why I hired Jason.
Yeah.
Jay's top of mind, was given a budget. And I will tell you this. I don't know. There's a lot of conversation going on with the future of Torque within Ronstadt. I know the budget and the amount of personnel that I submitted. I'm not saying that's going to come to fruition, but I will tell you this. Guess where is the first place we're going to hire from? Our community. Right? So take that for what it's worth. All right, Mark, anything else? I got some rapid fire here. Anything else you want to get off your chest that maybe we forgot, or do you think you brought the word today?
No, I just want to remind people, while we're up here talking about this, with so much passion and vigor, that there is mountains of empathy behind it all.
100%.
And it's just because we believe and care about you so much, we want you to win. Like literally, we want you to win. And there is room for you all to win.
All of us.
And it's going to be easy. It's not going to look necessarily the way you want it to look, but there is a win out there for you.
Yep, absolutely. All right. What's right now, Mark? What's one tech tool, app, phone, mobile, web, whatever you can't live without right now?
Gemini CLI.
There you go. Little shameless plug. First job you ever got paid for?
Artist. I was an artist.
No way.
Yeah, and I was making art. Yeah, I can draw. Awesome. Not as well as I used to, but I used to be able to draw.
That's really cool. So actually, like drawing artist.
Yeah. I was like
awesome,
making.
I didn't know that about you.
Drawing and stuff. Yeah. And the funny thing is this: out of the group of us that was hired, I was the only person with a sold piece of art at the gallery.
That's awesome. I love that. What was your watercolors, chalk? Like what was kind of your?
Yeah. So I loved color pencil and marker for because I used to do comics a lot, and then for my sculptures. Well, of course, I do like clay and paint, and then I would use like quartz and stuff and different like stones to decorate, my piece stuff. Yeah,
nice. That's awesome. When you were young, baby Mark, maybe not baby, but young Mark, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Architect.
Like a skyscraper architect, like building bridges.
I want to build houses so I could. So I could build my mother a house because we grew up in a small apartment.
I love that.
I want to build my mother a house. And so I want to be an architect for that reason.
That's awesome. I love that. Man, I love you so much. What's a career mistake you're oddly grateful for?
Oh, sure. Let's see. Oddly grateful for. I think I'm oddly grateful for getting fired from my first job. My first
Really?
job. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because at that position, I was kind of like, I won't say manipulated, but just kind of influenced and brainwashed into thinking that was the best that I could do. Yeah. And I was really underpaid there.
Yeah.
And I was overworked and underpaid. And that I just drank the Kool-Aid believing that I was at the best company I could be at. I had no idea what was ahead of me because of that.
Yeah. Does that mean you're into anime, Marvel, or DC?
Oh, I was a big Marvel person when I was a kid for comics.
I love it. If I told you tomorrow that you had to wake up and not do tech anymore, what hobby would you pursue? I'm assuming I probably know the answer to this, but
yeah, I would be a full-time entertainer. So I host a game show. I would probably pursue that, to be honest, full-time.
You're hilarious, dude. You're
Thank
hilarious.
You.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. I always watch the clips. All right, last question. And again, for those of you tuning in, thank you so much. If this episode resonated with you, please share it. This was probably one of the better episodes I've had in a very long time. So if this resonated with you, please share it to your network. I think a lot of people can get a lot of good stuff from this. The last question, Mark, as always, show's called Guidance Counselor 2.0 because we had guidance counselors in middle school, high school, and college, but now as adults, we don't really have them. What would be your biggest piece of career advice if you could go back and tell young Mark something?
You can learn from anybody if you let yourself learn.
I love that. That's awesome. Love it. All right, y'all. Thank you again. Appreciate it. Appreciate you all so much. Mark, stay on so I can say bye to you backstage. But y'all have a great one tomorrow. Got another banger of an episode. My boy Josh Siri, DevRel at Laravel coming on. We're going to talk about fake it till you make it a little bit. Why you kind of got to do the job before you get the job. So it's going to be a great conversation with Josh tomorrow. So see y'all tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Central. Y'all have a good one. Peace.